most people look at Bitcoin as a moneymaker, an asset, something that's going to replace the dollar. And while all these things are correct, it is much deeper than that. Bitcoin is an FU to the system, a system that has not had our best interests at heart as Black people. So today I'm going to talk more about it, how it's ethical, moral, and how it can help us get our power back. Okay? But before I do, welcome to Black to Bitcoin, where I explore the wealth gap and how Bitcoin is a solution to our problems. Okay? So if you are interested in any content about the Black experience, our wealth, all the good things, then make sure that you subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, and share, because we do need to get the word out. Okay? All right, so first I'm going to give a very brief explanation of the beginning of Bitcoin. I won't do the whole history or anything like that. I do have a video about that if you do want to see that. But Bitcoin is a rebuttal to the system. It is its purpose, and it is based around the 2008 crash. It was one of the worst financial crashes of the history of our country. And when it happened, it affected everybody. Big banks, big money, small money, individuals, everyone in between. But what happened is the government bailed out the big money, and it left people with no money and regular people with the problems and the suffering. So in 2009, Bitcoin was created to rebut that. So a system, a money system that was not controlled by anybody and was actually the money for and by the people. Okay? So that is like the background of it and what it was created for. And it was created over some principles like, there's no money printing, so it's very scarce. There's only 21 million of them. It's decentralized, so everyone knows what's going on with it. There's no government, controlling it and manipulating and hiding things. It's very, very out there. Everyone can see everything and is very easy to trust. Okay, so that's like the gist of Bitcoin's creation. Now I'm going to go into ways that it applies to us as Black people. Okay, and of course I have my notes. All right, so the first one is that it removes trust from a broken system. When the 2008 collapse happened, like I said, it affected everyone, but it affected us a lot more. And the reason for that is Black people hold most of their wealth, quote unquote, in cash. Okay? Savings accounts, things like retirement accounts, which, that's debatable if it's savings or whatever. But we hold our wealth in things like that. If we do hold an asset, it is a house. And housing prices was one of the biggest things that was affected in the 2008 crash. So the fact that most of our assets is held in housing, when the crash happened, a lot of our generational wealth was wiped away because people lost their houses, there's foreclosures. It was a really, really bad situation. And because of that, we were screwed because we had to rely on the system. And because Bitcoin's whole purpose is not having to trust anyone, that is a factor in helping us to get our independence back. Okay? So, oh yeah, and there was no rebounding after it. That was the other point I had. Once that crash happened and the housing happened and we lost our houses, it has not rebounded since. So that was the first point I had. The second one is that it prevents manipulation and theft. Okay? The government can rob you. They can do it. They can take your money. Okay? The Federal Reserve basically determines how much your money is worth based on the interest rate they decide to put into play. Everything that happens with the government affects your money, and they have power over it. Even as far as you wanting a loan, and someone telling you that you can't have the loan, or the fact that we are charged more for the loan. All these things matter when it comes to freedom and wealth. And Bitcoin is a way to get rid of the manipulation. And another part, honestly, of the manipulation is the printing of the money. Okay? So when money is printed, inflation gets worse. Okay? And then that's where the whole holding, money and your cash and all of that comes into play. So it is a circle, and the manipulation and theft can be prevented with Bitcoin. Okay? I think that's all I have with that. Yes. Yes, that's all I have. All right. And then the last one that I have is that, and the most important one, is that it gives us a way to opt out of the system. We are so reliant on everything when it comes to living in this country. Bitcoin is the one thing that you can say it is mine. I don't have to ask you to give it to me. I don't need your approval. And there's something very empowering about that. When you hold Bitcoin, in case you don't know, it is your money. No one has access to it but you. You hold it, it's yours, okay? Every other money, especially the US dollar, is actually controlled by someone else. And like I said before, if you want a loan, you have to rely on somebody giving it to you. Bitcoin is a way to opt out and to say, I have something that is just mine. And my whole point about basically the whole channel is about being able to have generational wealth, because we don't only have to say that as an individual, we can say that as a community. Because the truth is that as a community, there have been so many things that have been put into play by the government that has taken away our financial freedom. Things like redlining, anything that the government actually put into place to keep us from benefiting from the financial system. Okay? So that's pretty much all I have. It's a short video, but the main point is that we cannot rely on other people. This will always be the roundup of the videos because we have to understand that no one is going to save us. I know I say it every time. No one is going to save us. And we have to come up with a way to rebut the system, to bunk the system, to contradict the system, to challenge the system. And there aren't many ways to do that. But Bitcoin is the one way that we can do it, okay? We can take our money back. We can have control over our money. And we have done it in the past. I'm actually going to do a separate video on Black Wall Street, okay? And how Bitcoin is very similar but better. I said what I said. But we have done it in the past. But Bitcoin is a way to do it where it can't be interfered with. Okay, so that is the big difference. Okay, so I'm going to do a big recap. I'm going to do a short recap of the points that I had to make. The first one is that it removes trust from the system that we've had to depend on. It stops with the manipulation and the theft of our money. They cannot take it from us, seize it, or do anything in between. And we have the option to opt out. And honestly, the opting out is the most important one, because it means that we can come up with a sustainable way for us to control our money within our community. Okay? So that's all I have to say today. I will always say it. If you don't understand Bitcoin, you don't understand money in general and the US dollar, I really suggest that you read the Bitcoin Standard. So there is a description. There is a link in the description. It's a really great book, and I think you need to know why you're investing in Bitcoin. Okay? So that's all I have for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Make sure you continue to stack them coins, okay? And I will see you next time. Bye.